AJ Allmendinger wins an exciting race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Welcome into Backseat Drivers. I am Alex Weaver, joined now by our resident analyst, Dylan Mamba Smith. He told me that was too long, but I'm including the full name. And then team owner Justin Marks is joining us virtually from Nashville. Hey guys, a road course full of drama, so we're going to break it all down. And now let's start with the main story that came out of Indy. And it was Denny Hamlin versus Chase Briscoe, the fight that nobody saw coming. Justin, what was your take on that? Whose side are you on?
It's pretty exciting. I mean, I can definitely see both sides of it. You got one guy that's trying to win his first race of the year and another guy that's never won. And when there's 2 laps to go in one of these NASCAR Cup races, kind of all bets are off. So I don't know. I mean, I'm probably a little bit of Switzerland on this one. I kind of see both sides of it. And I know you guys both have your takes. But I'm probably leaning towards Chase a little bit on this one.
All right. Well, he did end up getting a penalty. So, Mamba, your take on this?
Look, I'm full-blown 14. And I think Tony Stewart is too by the reaction after the race. They went into the turn, and they're racing hard. Like, it's hard racing. They go into the turn. The 11 pushes them up. The 14 is like, I have nowhere to go. He takes to grass. And then I would have done the same thing, stay in the gas, meet him back on the other side, keep racing. And at that point, they're still running for the win. The call doesn't come down from the top that fast. So he thinks he's running for the win. And he did what he had to do. End up spinning the 11, made it exciting for all of us. And then the penalty came, and then the race went as it was, which was haywire. So it was awesome.
We both know Denny Hamlin for a long time, or all of us have known Denny Hamlin for a long time. So, Justin, were you surprised that Denny handled it as well as he did? Because I'm going to be honest, I was waiting for a punch.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but I think it works into Chase's favor a little bit because I think that Denny understood the situation. He understood how hungry Chase was, and I think he understood that he didn't leave Chase much of an option when they came out of turn 1 and kind of pushed him off in the grass there. And so I think the fact that Denny was a little bit more subdued and spent some time listening to Chase, I think was an indication that he, maybe didn't fully expect it, but was willing to kind of accept that outcome.
All right, Mamba, you're behind the wheel. That happens to you, and you're the 11. You swinging?
If I'm me, yeah. But if I'm Denny, probably not. I mean, the old Denny, he's probably more in Chase's face, but we're looking at a more mature driver than number 11, which is cool to see. We love to see fireworks, so I wouldn't have hated a little bit more aggression maybe, but I really like what he did, and he took ownership on things he's done in the past, and you can see that maturity grow. So, and that's a sign of a champion. So maybe he'll get it done this year.
Oh, maybe. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, later in the season. The one who has not won a championship yet. I'm sure it helped Denny. He is clinched into the playoffs, so that maybe it took a little bit of the steam off. Well, I know a ton of drivers voiced their opinions on the level of aggressive driving after the race and watching turn 1 and then the doozy turns of 5 and 6. Justin, your driver, Daniel Suarez, voiced his frustration on Twitter, saying, embarrassing the lack of respect, like dumb kids driving bumper cars, supposed to be professionals, and we showed everything but that. So before I go to the team owner over there at Mamba, where's the line between driving hard and just driving disrespectfully?
It's really thin. I think that they're racing hard, and that's what we ask for, and that's what we want. And they're going to push it to the limit every time. As a race car driver, as an athlete, that's what we do. That's what you do. You race to win. And you don't want anyone to beat you. You don't want to give up any spots. Well, there's a limit to every track and every car. And I think we found that we went past the limit and took off a little bit, pun intended. And I loved it, though. Even though it was disrespectful maybe from the driver's standpoint, from someone watching the race and seeing those guys getting after it lap after lap, every corner, it's something that we ask for. We want that. So I'm not going to knock the race or the racing because I don't want those guys to sit back and just kind of ride through 5 and 6. I want them to try to be getting it. So that's my take.
All right, Justin, paying for the cars, footing the bill, might have a different take on it.
Well, I'm glad there's no lack of emotion in this sport after these races with these drivers. It's one of the things that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, look, if I look back on my experience as a driver, over the last 17 or 18 years. I think that, to me, the difference between racing hard and racing disrespectfully is that, when you race hard, you don't have the intention of ruining someone's day. You don't have the intention of wrecking them or putting them in a compromised position, but you're fighting and you're willing to accept, a negative outcome from your competitor as collateral damage. I think when you look at disrespectful racing, it's when somebody drives in there and intentionally puts their competition in a compromised position through contact or, running them off the racetrack or something, and that's a part of the strategy in that moment. To me, that's how I've always seen the difference, and always felt like that these guys should be all racing each other as hard as possible. But I think that they shouldn't be crossing that line into disrespectful racing, because when you make it a part of your strategy to put your competition in a position that destroys their race car, it's your intention to take them out of the race. That's not the kind of the racing that we want.
Yeah, team owners don't like wrecks. We know that.
You see, his answer was a little different than mine. I'm like, let's get it some more. My man paying the bills over here is a little different. But
yeah, I want it exciting. I mean, that's what we all tune in to watch this for. I mean, obviously, when we budget our company, we've got a nice little line item column there for crash damage, and we decided owners how big or how small we want to make that column. I think there's a balance there, Dylan.
I think that what we've seen is these guys have taken the short track mentality to the road courses, and I think that's where a lot of the aggression comes through. And they know they can make up spots and make up points and have a shot to win if they go back to their roots a little bit and rooting and gouging. And I'm here for it, man. I love watching it. I miss it at some of the other tracks. So when we do get it, I'm all about it.
Yeah, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course is now the new Martinsville, so it'll be interesting. I know not the ending of the day that you all hoped for that turnaround at Trackhouse, Justin, but thoughts on the Indy Road Course? Because Daniel Suarez is an underrated road course driver, in my personal opinion.
I mean, I think the road course is sort of, to Dylan's point, I mean, the road courses are racing as good as just about any tracks in the schedule right now. So, I mean, I definitely like these road courses. I think that this one was pretty compelling. I think that there was a lot of action. Regardless of the accidents we had that caused the red flags, I mean, there were some great passes out there. There was some great strategy out there. And, I thought it was exciting. I think that, winning at the Brickyard is obviously, considered something that's sacred in our sport. And being able to win these races and kiss the bricks is something that's special in every driver's life. And I think you saw that with the emotion with AJ on Sunday. I was a little sad to see the Brickyard 400 go away and not run on the oval there. I think that, that place was built as a 4-turn oval and back in the early 1900s, and that's the way it's always existed. But for our sport and where our sport is right now, I mean, you can't deny that some of the best racing is on these road courses. So no matter what, it was a pretty compelling day.
Mamba's already smiling. Go ahead.
I'm cheesing, man. We talked about it before the show. It's a ring race. It's a crown jewel to have the opportunity to kiss the bricks. And to Justin's point, AJ showed it, that it doesn't matter if it's the road course or the oval. It means so much to everybody. And I was lucky enough in 2013 to be a part of Stewart Haas and get a ring from that race with Ryan Newman driving. And to have that sitting on my nightstand and look at that every day.
Which he didn't wear today.
Which I didn't wear today. I wanted to.
What?
I rushed out, but to have that as a memento for all the hard work that goes into each and every week, it means a lot for sure.
A kiss with the bricks is still a kiss with the bricks, in my opinion. Well, let's do a little rapid fire. Kaulig Racing is a small team in comparison to some of the others in the garage and are just beginning their NASCAR Cup Series story next season in 2022. Justin, you're in the process of building a brand new team. I know you all are still looking for that first win, but how important is it for smaller teams to get these wins and to build that culture and that mindset within the organization?
Yeah, I mean, it's vital. Obviously, it goes without saying how important it is for the enterprise itself, just because it's so motivating, and it kind of, shows everybody. I think at Kaulig this week is sort of in the mindset now of like, there's nothing we can't do. Like they're fired up for next year. They're ready to go race, and they're ready to sort of join the ranks of winning teams. And when Trackhouse gets to that point, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to light a fire under us and really kind of get everybody motivated to work towards the future. On the sports side, I mean, it's huge. It's hugely important to our sport that we have days like we had on Sunday at the Brickyard, because it's just, in the business of sports, we're sort of in the business of cultivating storylines, and having moments like this where these small teams can win is great for the narrative of the sport. It's compelling for the sport property. And it just adds to the kind of unpredictability on week to week that, you've got guys like the 5 and the, the 11 kind of, you can always count on them running in the top 5, but you never know when a team like Colleague is going to sneak in there and hopefully Trackhouse sooner rather than later and steal the headlines. And that's what I love about the sport.
Mamba, you tweeted about your friend, the dinger over there again. He was pumped up, but I know you're excited for him too.
Man, I was so stoked for AJ. We texted a little bit last night. A winning culture is important. Winning is contagious. It's a mindset. You know going in that you can win and you should win. And once you do it once, you know that you can do it again. It tells the world and all these other business opportunities like, hey, if you get with the right team, with the right driver, and the right situation, we're going to take our shot and we might come out with a win. It's so important that everyone knows that just because you're David, you can still beat Goliath. And I love to see it. And I think headed forward, we're going to see a lot more teams popping up.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of first wins, I know you'll have 2 cars next season in Trackhouse. I know the goal is to still win with Suarez in the 99 before the season's over, but now it's been announced that Ross Chastain will be in the 1. So let's just talk next year because we're hoping for a win through the rest of the season. But in 2022, Justin, who gets the first win, Ross or Daniel?
How am I supposed
You're
to answer that?
welcome for this.
I tell you what I've got 2 very, very motivated drivers, both of which are looking for their first win in the Cup Series and both of which have a ton of talent. They've already started communicating with each other and we've already had some discussions about what a teammate is at Trackhouse and sort of what cohesion looks like and how we're going to work together. And those guys have run with the ball and spent some time together already talking. So I don't know. I mean, I'm bullish on it. It's impossible for me to tell you who's going to win this thing first. I mean, Daniel's got his strengths, Ross has his strengths, and I know that we've got 2 super, super hungry guys. So I just hope it's sooner rather than later. Maybe in the middle of February, that'd be okay.
Mamba, it's not impossible for you to answer. So
I think it's funny though. You said 2 cars. Trackhouse kind of has like 4. They got the 2 Cup cars. He just had Shane Stewart in a World of Outlaw race or Knoxville Nationals, and he's got me. I drove for Justin one time in a late model. So, no, but I'm excited for either one. I think having motivated drivers motivates the team. They have something to prove. And you can feel that energy through the whole team. And I think having 2 cars is going to help because Daniel can bounce stuff off Ross. It's different when you're being a part of an organization, like they're a part of RCR. They can go over to Austin and those guys and Tyler and talk about stuff, but it's not exactly the same. Having a teammate right there in the mud with you, it means a difference.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe next year we can get like some watermelon Coca-Cola or something just to combine the two loves. Well, only 2 more races to make it into the NASCAR playoffs, and another team's trying to get in, Richard Childress Racing. Right now, Tyler Reddick is in, 28 points above his teammate Austin Dillon. Mamba, which RCR car gets in come Daytona?
This is tough because Austin has proven to be a winner and can get it done when it really matters. He's also a champion in the other series. Tyler's a champion in the other series. He's been close to winning. Oof. I would hate to be at RCR trying to figure out which one is going to go, but I'm thinking Tyler Reddick.
All right, Justin, who you got?
Tyler's got a lot of raw speed and a lot of motivation right now. He's also got the luxury of having, a decent amount of points cushion on Austin right now. So with only 2 races to go, I think it's going to be very hard for the 3 to catch the 8. But the 3 is Austin's a proven winner at Daytona, and he's very, very good at those places. So he can steal one away right there in the 11th hour. But I'd probably lean a little bit more towards the 8 at this point.
All right. Well, don't count out the 3 when it comes to Daytona. Both of you said it, so if it happens, it happens. Well, we're all in store for 2 great races before we wrap up the regular season for the NASCAR Cup Series. Next week, that starts with Michigan. Justin, who wins up there in the Irish Hills on Sunday?
It's just so hard. I mean, when you look at the historical context of Michigan, it's such a Ford track, but we know how well Chevrolet is doing right now and how fast the 24, the 5, and the 9 are. So it's a hard choice to make. I think Larson's super, super motivated, but I don't know. I mean, historical precedents it just means something to me. I think Ford's going to win. I think Joey's shown a lot of speed lately. I think the 22 takes it.
All right, Mamba.
Look, this track is wide, fast. You got to pound the fence. No one really does it better than Larson except Tyler Reddick. But to Justin's point, it's a Ford track. I never do this because I feel like I always jinx him. But I'm going with my boy. RB has been quick all year. He's good at these tracks. He finished second the other day. I think he's going to get a win at Michigan.
All right, well, low-hanging fruit for me, the guy who swept in 2017.
Oh, my God.
Have to go with Larson. I can't pick against him.
You haven't all year.
I know. Well, I'm going with the 5 again. So we'll see who gets it done in Michigan. Thank you, Justin, for joining us this week. Good luck to the Trackhouse crew. I know you guys are headstrong into 2022, but there's a season left to finish, so good luck. Always a pleasure. Dylan, you want to take us out with back home again in Indiana? No?
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't want to sing?
No,
We'll
I
work
don't
on it.
think so.
All
I'm
right,
good.
fans. We'll see you. Enjoy Michigan. It's coming up Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Enjoy it. We'll see you next week.